MUSTAPHA for GBANDE. Good morning to you, and thank you very much for your time.
Good morning, sir.
First, let's start with, and I hope you're well. You had a good weekend.
No, I'm very okay.
Were you at Ayawaso East?
At some point.
At some point, you were there. Were you there during the day of the election?
At some point, I was there.
Okay. But first, what's the party's reaction to what we've all seen, and subsequently what has been heard about what transpired on the ground in terms of monies being paid, people talking about televisions, and motorbikes have been mentioned, among others?
Well, leadership of the party wasn't there. We had just put some colleagues to go and supervise the election. There are guidelines clearly that members who, both the voters and aspirants, were supposed to follow as far as the exercise is concerned. Until a certain time, we picked pieces of allegations and counter allegations, concerns being expressed by the public, and then wait into it. Because at that level, they were mere allegations, much as they were sensitive, we decided to take cognizance of same and also set up a body to investigate the matters, interrogate the bits and pieces of the evidence for us to come to an informed position. We are also very guided by the fact that we are in a political environment and that people can manufacture a lot of things. And so clearly, we want to be fair to both those who have complained and those who have been alleged to have been part of whatever they have complained about. And so the committee is led by an eminent party elder, Honorable Totobi Kwache, and then some other senior members who will investigate and present their report on Tuesday.
Okay. And I've also realized that since then you've made some changes to a change to the committee. At least one person who was originally on the committee is no longer on the committee.
We have not made changes to the committee. A member on issues of conflict of interest had to recuse himself because the leadership of Parliament in itself had joined the conversation. And so there was a need that, in that case, the neutrality of Honorable Mahama Yarga would have been in jeopardy. And so it was appropriate that he step aside to allow a neutral person to take over.
So the job of the committee is what? What are they supposed to do?
They are supposed to be investigating the matter in totality, looking at the pieces and pieces of the evidence available, investigating all of the aspirants who took part in the election, investigating all the members of the party who may have received same, if indeed there were issues of bribery and vote buying, and to assist us get into an informed conclusion of the issues and take a decision.
So what they are supposed to do is establish the facts, whether or not the things that are being said happened, and then they report back to you. FAIR could take a decision.
Yes, and it is done to ascertain whether or not the conduct of a member at that level stood in a way or likely to jeopardize the credibility and integrity of the party, or the totality of the exercise meets the threshold of a credible exercise in the face of the people of Ghana, or it defeated its purpose. And so those are the nuances as far as the work of the committee is concerned.
I see. What is the ultimate objective of these investigations that you've started? Because people have, and I'm sure you've seen some members of your party and some people who are even delegates point out that, but you also pay. What are you investigating?
Well, like I told you, we want to test the existence of credibility and integrity as far as the issues are concerned, and also take into account what the cross section of Ghanaians have complained about, whether or not there is some truth in what has been said, whether or not there was vote buying, and if indeed there was vote buying, what would be the standpoint of the party. And we do not also want to be seen to take some decisions without having to make do with basic principles of fairness in terms of allowing people to avail themselves and to be heard, and also defending themselves when these allegations have been made.
Is there a definite stance on what you would do if there are people found to have been culpable?
Obviously, the totality of the action of the party is to convey strong standpoint of condemnation if indeed there is a conclusive position that there was some sort of bribery and vote buying, and also to clear what stands to be a lacuna on the image of the party, to see if indeed there was some sort of activity that underscores the principles of probity and accountability. And so that is what we are intending to find out in this exercise.
The Majority Caucus's proposal, I'm sure you've seen that. Two things: ban those who are found culpable by the committee. Secondly, annul the election results and have a rerun. What do you think?
They are entitled to their opinion as much as any other citizen of the country does. The work of the party and the work of the committee is not influenced by such proposals. The committee's work and the laws of the party would be considered in this matter than any other thing. So it's not about what one group is saying or what the other group is saying, though they are entitled to make such proposals. A decision as a party have not been influenced or informed by the statement from the Majority Caucus. And so strictly defer ourselves to the work that the committee is doing and to defer ourselves to the evidence that is available and the circumstances within which we find ourselves. One, we're trying to uphold to the highest standards the principles of the party, the image of the party, protecting the trust that the people of Ghana has for us, and also bearing in mind that the leader of the party, His Excellency the President, have even gone further to make a strong statement of governance that puts together what we call code of ethics for all government appointees, such that your action may not be criminal in nature, but if it puts the position you hold in conflict with principles, then you would have been breaching a certain code of conduct. And so we in the NDC also believe that we must make do with the resetting agenda, which requires that everybody reset themselves within the context of good behavior, within the context of disciplined behavior, upholding standards and values, and protecting institutional credibility. That is what the NDC is taken to do.
I see. But do you think there's a problem to be dealt with when it comes to this issue?
There is a big problem to be dealt with. The problem is that the party cannot go to sleep when Ghanaians are alleging that there is a certain conduct that undermines the trust they have in us. Number two, the exercise is not to judge anybody guilty before their head. The exercise is to establish strongly whether or not there were some activity that undermined the credibility of the party. So in our mind, we are very clear in terms of what we are embarking on. The General Secretary of the party is very clear in his mind. Party leadership is very clear that we want to take into account what the complaints are and to also test it with the various activities that have transpired to see if indeed the allegation has merit or the allegations have no merit, or the evidence that we have all seen are ones that we can base on to take a certain disciplinary action or not. And so the party is very clear and very neutral in its minds. We are not prejudiced into making or taking sides into the issues. So whether or not there are issues to answer, the committee's work at the end of the day will advise all of us.
And that's where the point is, because there's the people feel there's the bigger issue of vote buying, to which they even allege that those of you in the executive have been culprits of it. They have also even gone after the majority for issuing a statement on it that more the MPs are culprits. Do you admit that these things have happened over a certain period?
The fact that it has happened in the past is not to say the issue could. We did not have a policy on resetting 4 years or 8 years ago. As somewhere 2024, January, February, a certain president came onto the stage and said that we are resetting the country, which presupposed that new things will have to be done, new decisions will have to be taken. And for us in the NDC, we want to uphold the highest standards ever. One, to ensure that there's compliant behavior within the party. There is discipline within the party, and there is order within the party. And so the fact that other things have happened in some other parties and they could not decipher the difference between what constituted propriety or impropriety at that level is not to say that the NDC should not. To whom much is given, much is expected. The level of trust and confidence Ghanaians have reposed on the NDC must be protected, should be protected, so that we are able to offer the complementary effort that His Excellency the President requires from a party to be able to deliver on his mandate for the people of Ghana. What will become of our efforts if that effort is questionable in the eyes of the public? If that effort is not seen in the light of credibility and integrity, what will it be? And so it's neither here nor there. We knew that when the MPP had their election recently, there was a widespread of these unethical things happening there. They boasted as campaign messages. We also even know that even state-funded fertilizers were shared to their party people for the purposes of election. DCs have come to confess on it and they were attacking each other. The leadership of the party didn't see anything wrong with that. Does that mean that the leadership of the NDC should also see no reason when it happened in our party? No way. All we are asking members is that we should have new ways of doing things well, so that if it comes in the public domain, it does not put the image of the party under dispute. Senna, if you drink alcohol in your house, you will not be called a drunkard. But if you come to the street and you walk to a blue kiosk and you are a pastor and you are seen drinking alcohol, the public will have a perception of you different from in your home. And so that is what we are trying to differentiate.
Let me conclude by asking, two things first of all. I was going to conclude on one. One is that you just mentioned the MPP. Their Deputy General Secretary, your counterpart, says that you're doing this because you don't like Baba Jamal. The party was not behind Baba Jamal's contest. Is that why you're doing this?
If I was the one who has perpetrated this, I believe that it will be within fidelity for the party to reprimand me. Baba Jamal is not a mean person. He was the Deputy General Secretary of the party, a former member of parliament, a former minister, current Deputy Director of Elections of the party, and an ambassador. And so it is not because it is Baba Jamal. But to whom much is given, much is expected. And like I said, we are not investigating Baba Jamal. We are investigating every single aspirant in that election. We are investigating the delegates in that election and the credibility of the whole exercise called primaries that was organized in that constituency as to whether or not it meets the threshold of an election that people have trust in. It should meet the threshold of an election that can bring the rest of the people in Ayawaso East to give the NDC the needed vote that we expect.
And then let me conclude with I'm sure you've seen the statement of the Office of Special Prosecutor. They say they are investigating that matter. Do you fully back that investigation?
We do not care at all what the Special Prosecutor wants to do to himself. The most important thing is that we are a party. We speak to ourselves and we stand by same. We are not concerned with what the Special Prosecutor would want to do or not want to do.
That the Special Prosecutor is investigating a process that you supervise does not bother you?
We intend to stand the test of time. And so we intend to allow the laws to test all of us. If you go out and say I'm a thief and I know I'm not a thief, why should I be worried about it?
I see. Well, thank you. Thank you for speaking to us.
We are grateful.
Mr. MUSTAPHA GBANDE is Deputy General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, joining us on the line on this issue. Like I said, there are two parties being investigated at once. There's the MPP